message. We want to prove to the whole world that the impossible dream can happen.
We are roots in the soil, we are clouds in the sky, we are rivers that flow and stars that fly. We are domes in the desert, light spun from the sun, designing with nature all life as one. Not just pieces, not a part, we belong to the whole. One living system, one pulsing soul. We are the whole earth, rising in time, playing the game with heart and mind. From mountain to ocean, from sea to flame, we learn, we grow, we heal, we change. Together we dream, together we build a world that thrives, a planet fulfilled. With a mind like Bucky's, we see the unseen, a world that works for all, efficient and green. Like Amory's lens, we find power in the flow, soft paths and bright futures everywhere we go. John Todd's waters hum, where wild and wise unite, a living machine in the dance of light. We are the WholEarth, rising in time, playing the game with heart and mind. From mountain to ocean, from sea to flame, we learn, we grow, we heal, we change. Together we dream, together we build a world that thrives, a planet fulfilled. One earth, one team, no lines divide. We shift the rules with love as our guide. Systems that serve, not systems that take. The future we co-create, wide awake. We are the whole earth, rising in time, living the game, redesigning the climb. With joy as our compass, and truth in our hands, we shape the future with living plans. Together we dream, together we build a world that thrives, a planet fulfilled. We are the whole earth, and the game is on.
The game is on. All right, you're muted. Unmute. Unmute.
There you go. There you go. Here we are then. We did it. Oh my goodness. What a deal. Can you hear me now?
Yep, we hear you loud and clear.
Well, I tell you, I'm so impressed and just absolutely blown away. Now, was that lyrics that you initiated or ones that I initiated?
You and I kind of worked on them together, and so we had them in email, and we had a version 1 and then a version 2, and then we messed with it, and then I added some other stuff so that Bucky was in there, Amory is in there, John Todd is in there. So it was kind of a group effort for those, and we can keep tweaking them. But
Yeah,
I
because we
thought,
need to add. I mean, I don't know if it's too jingly. The question is like, will it hook? Where's the hook? We need a hook. So probably ask for a hook, and it'll come up with some. That's
okay, I
great. I
have
mean, it's so
different versions
satisfying. So this
too.
is the idea. I can fire everybody, and it's just you and me, and we can put together an army of things. Now, what's going on is like amazing things are happening in the galactic cosmosphere, you know, and I mean, things are lining up. If you're watching anything going on, you're seeing just the really weirdest constellations lining up. Obviously, in our country, you know, a complete idiot, imbecile, like the worst kid you've ever met in your entire life. This is Uncle Ernie. This is the bully. This is the worst person you've ever known. Am I right, Renee?
Absolutely, I think you're describing this absolutely perfect.
Okay, they were doing this to, you know, Napoleon was no fucking, you know, he was no hero to a lot of people. He completely decimated, you know. He created a lot of instability in Europe, of course, and he just, you know, but what to do with Napoleon? He was too fucking smart. I mean, he really was so smart. They didn't know what to do with him, so he got to die of old age. Same thing with Hitler too. You know, he really went all. You know, they took him out over to Argentina, and he died of old age. But you know, in obscurity, against you got to be locked down. He was locked down somehow. You can't just walk through without paying a small price. But you know, Hitler. I mean, Trump is getting ready to Dumpty fall. See, that's what I was trying to do on my end of it. I was working on this idea of Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, and you can't put all the pieces together. And like he's sitting on top of his Trump empire of cards, you know, and it's ready to blow up. And there's people underneath. So I'm going to work on this as an image to see. So now I got another thing coming in. Lots of opportunities are coming in now. And I've put out, you know, some effort, as you know. I've put out the energy needed to get into this position right now, to take advantage of this position right now. And of course, what I've done is I've spent all my time and energy on this idea of a whole earth game. Isn't it more fun to play than it is to work? Why the hell would you ever want to work? Never do a job, you know, that you don't love. That's my best advice to anybody, you know, starting out or you're continuing forward. Don't ever do something you don't like in order to get. I mean, you have to sometimes, but then you realize how little you're not going to do this again. Now, here's the thing. I've just been looking at, and I'm about ready to take a big leap on a art storefront that seems to have some pretty good things. It's a fully automated art generator for all my stuff, and so I'm really excited because I'm a producer, but I don't know how to do any of the other things. I cannot seem to market or get to a buyer with my stuff. So I'm going to go and work, I think, with Art Storefront dot whatever, and see if they can for the year next. So my whole year is going to be with you, and then starting a new. This is part of the industry. Now here's part of the philosophy that I am about is whole earth system. These are 5 things that I located. Like I'm just like a regular guy, but I went to school, and I got to study about Bucky Fuller. And when I got to study about Bucky Fuller, I got it. Like I got it. Like I could just see what he was up to. And then the next thing was, I think Paolo Solari really got me going first. I wanted to see that. I mean, Arcosante, and he was still around. I mean, like I thought there was maybe a chance that he would look at my work. There's not a chance that he would look at my work, but I aspired to design for Paolo Solari with my tubular structure. That's the tube house I'm holding there. It's basically the model that he was doing with concrete that I was doing with steel. But honestly, I stole the idea from Kinori Kikutaki, who stole it. You know, he developed the first idea of a tubular structure. A Kikutaki architect did the first thing for his graduate thesis was a floating island in the Tokyo Bay. So if you look at Kikutaki architect, Tokyo Bay project, 1960 something, you'll see these towers. And then I met a guy who's in Australia named Don Reed, and he turns out Don Reed's a pretty common name there, but he was an architect, and he said he was an architect. He said he worked for the city, but and I went and met him, and I thought it was great. It was great. It was one of the great adventures going to Australia to meet Don Reed to talk about a steel tube house. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. And so when I got there, he didn't really have the resources to go. I thought I was going to be able to, go work for Don Reed and go have steel tube housing. And I put everything into it, and I just obsessed. So that took me out of whatever I was doing and put me into God's way. God's way. I spent some time on God's Way Love too. That was a literal street called God's Way Love in the desert, where I did I had to go see what it felt like to live with nothing. So I did the work, and I went out and I found some caves. Luckily, I found a wonderful man named Garth Bowles with a W-E-L-E-S. And he had a Boulder Garden Ranch, and I was able to stay there and work and live and see how to work with no thing, you see. Very small things. We had very little, and we worked and had the greatest thing. That's where I learned how to work with Mother Eartha, Gaia. And if you stay with me and we work together on this project and you take a look at this book, you're going to find the same thing. Now let's hear another song. Was there another song that came out of this that we can listen to?
Yeah, there's a lot, but I don't have them hooked up quite yet. But they're in your text messages. I'll see if I can get it, but it'll be a few more minutes maybe.
So we're gonna, continue to make material. Basically, what we're working on is a storyline. The idea here is that we're tired of the old story of, last days on Earth. It's not the end of the world, you see, because that's a perception thing. So remember do you remember the law of polarity?
Oh boy, you've quizzed me before on this. I know it if I hear it, but I can't regurgitate it precisely. I know it's like the opposite is true. I know it's like,
there you go. Okay,
yeah, something is true, then the opposite is also true. Yeah.
So basically, everything's half true.
Right.
Everything's half false.
Mm-hmm.
There is no such thing as one side or the other. There's two sides to everything. There's always two sides to everything, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So if they're saying the end of the world, we're going to obviously go to the other way. And we're going to say this is not the end of the world. It's the end of their world and the beginning of our world. The whole Earth. One whole Earth.
That's crazy.
Remember that map? What's my favorite map? Can you put that up there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let me get
right
it.
at the top of the thing, and then all the other ones, because this Dymaxion map is something you have to look at. And let me tell you, I want to find out if you're really watching and you want to be part of this. You are welcome to join. But you've got to get in the game, and you've got to leave something in the comment and give me an up thumb, and do the subscription and do the whole thing. Let's just take a trip and play Whole Earth game with me. And what we're going to do is we're going to, introduce to you my board of directors, and I'm going to ask you to build out your own board of directors based on my board of directors. I mean, you can use mine just the way it is, but I think if you're really, that's just like part of the basic, getting to know how to play the game. The goal, of course, is to outdo me and find a way to live and travel on the Earth with no harm, okay? Because when we see that map, you got that map up yet?
Yep, it's right here. Yep, it's up.
I don't see it.
I don't know why you can't, but I promise you it's up there. Other people are commenting, so people are seeing it.
Okay, so you're talking about a Dymaxion map. Okay, this is the idea. Is this the one with the green all over it?
It has blue and then green up at the top before, and then
Okay,
Australia.
so look at that. You see this? Okay, this is plenty. Wherever that green is, we can grow food easy, right? When it's brown, we can make it green by doing stuff that we know to do through food foresting by Jeff Lawton and Kiyonori Kikutaki. can help us do that. We know how to do restore, green land. We know how to rebuild deserts too. We just keep at it, and build more food, make more food. Start with the food and then the energy, and then that gives us stuff to do, and then water, food, energy, and stuff to do. Mm-hmm. But most important, that you find a craft, something that you would do no matter what. You got to have something that feeds the soul. Yeah, something you just like to do. Like in my case, I'm a musician and I'm a drummer, and I also like to draw and I like to paint and I like to take photographs, and I'm poly everything. I like to do everything, and I like to produce a lot of different kind of work. And I'm going to be setting up a storefront that you can all join. So if you stay with me, you can get first in on some sales that we're going to be having with some new merchandise. That finally I'm going to have a place where I can just start putting out all kind of merchandise and get this thing working. So anyway, stay close with us as we're moving forward. Now, what else we have? We have a storyline. We're building a new storyline. The new storyline is a world that works for everyone. We're going to reach still. I need to let you know about what the secret, the top secret, and the secret sauce and the success of the Chinese people are. Because, I mean, if you look at it historically with a cold, in the cold light of day, it is very easy to see that if you take a look at that map, I mean, China, there where it is, and how much green land does it have in there, and then how does it feed its people. It's been very, very organized, well organized folks, and they're also going around and doing a soft revolution, a soft invasion, a soft, I mean, but those are all hostile words, so it's really nothing like that. But it is like the Chinese people to be like water, right? Like water for chocolate, right? Like water, to be like a snake, to be like a very patient cobra. Okay? The Chinese people have a lot of patience. They have a very clear understanding of their own humble history of being of service to the Mother Earth in order to gain access to a thing we call life, and get what you need. So they're coming around, and the reason that we're in this chaos is that the really the most incredibly stupid person and ignorant person and whatever you can think about this guy has taken over and is willing to do whatever it takes to be in some type of situation of power. But he doesn't know that he can't be in any power. There's no power here. It's all, I mean, the higher you go, the farther you fall. We know this to be true. And you can't see a guy more reckless, obviously being set up. Now, here's the thing you got to watch, because, while we're looking at him do all this funny clown stuff, there are really horrible people pulling the levers behind him. And you've got to see what they're getting out of this thing, this chaos theory. So I don't know. It is literally like, what they used to say, whatever they said about Jewish people or to vilify them, they would call them, animal names, and they would, say these things are like vermin. There's all kind of posters. There's all kind of propaganda, whatever you do. And they always do it. They did it to the Japanese, and they did it to the Chinese. It was just this game, It's so easy to manipulate people to hate other people because they're other, until you know a bunch of people and you go, wait a second, but these are my friends. I don't need, these people, I like these people. They do nice things for me. And, you're going to tell me I don't like them? And why? I can never figure that out. Anyway, moving forward, so we're going to always lead with this polarity. So we have to look at both sides, and we're going to go for the side of love every time, and we're going to go to the light every time. And we're just going to see what happens when we go to the light every time. What do you think, Renee? Is that a good idea?
I think I love it, and that's even in the song lyrics about how we're choosing love. I think it says that this is like a system of love. The whole Earth way, the whole Earth system is about love. We're choosing love.
So let's go one more time. We have plenty of time to go one more time to listen to it, and then we'll wrap it up at the end with a little discussion about what we heard, because it was so good. I could just like starting to listen to it. And then if you're
Okay.
in a comment, if you're in the chat room, please give us an up thumb and help us, share the message of One Whole Earth Game and moving forward. Now it's going to be we're going to be basically having a little side commercial, but the whole earth industry wants to set up a marketplace where anyone can
Yeah.
come sell their stuff, and we'll help you do that too. And basically we ask you to get 100% of what you want, but we're going to add 20% for the marketing and the handling, so that Renee and I can both pay some bills while we're helping to market and sell your stuff. Okay, you don't have to do a thing. Just set it up with us, give us the price, give us a picture where you want it to be, and we'll take it from there. So that's what I'm trying to talk about here. And then that deals with any craft, any kind of handcraft or service for that matter. You can put it craft or service or stuff, because what one man's work is another man's pleasure. One woman's work is another woman's pleasure. That is one of the things that we can actually have full control over. What we do to provide for what we need is completely up to us. I think that's the real human sovereignty, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we've been saying, and I think that the more we say it, the more other people are going to see that is the way forward. The
We're
way.
going to build a song about human sovereignty. We're going to build a song about all the basic tenets. We need to build an album. It's going to be a new album we're working on, and then we're going to have some
Yep.
video with that too. It's happening right now. I can see it, at least 8 or 10 songs that are based on this philosophy. So it's going to be fun and games. Enjoy the ride.
Okay, talk for just a few more seconds. I have an alternate version of that song, and I'm going to be able to load it into the studio so we can hear the alternate version with the same lyrics.
Oh, it's too much fun. Let's do that.
I
Okay,
know,
let me
that's
go
what I'm
off camera.
saying. So let me. I'm just trying to find it. Talk for just another second.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. We're in a game. The game is to get like into it and have some fun, man, because this is, not gloom and doom. Look at behind me. Is that the most beautiful thing? Holy shamoly. I get to go and hang out here with you in Ventura. It's a little chilly. I hate to say that. I hope you're not. And I'm so looking to see what's going on in the Midwest and all around the country and all these calamitous type of weather. And I hope you're safe. I just hope you're safe. So do what you can, and then remember that you need 5 things. You don't need a lot else. When you get to the people, make sure you keep it simple. When you get to the FEMA people, when you're trying to say, I just need 5 things. You're a person, I'm a person, you know what I need. I need a place to sleep tonight. I need good food for my family. I need clean water. Can you make sure I get some clean water? Then I can make my coffee, right? Make coffee, tea, whatever we need. That gives me the energy I need to go out and do the next thing, which is going to be filling out a lot of paperwork and just putting together a new home. I got stuck by the hurricane too, and I'm going to be diving face first into that experience, and you're going to be coming with me, because why would I want to come alone? I mean, this is like what we're doing. So we're going to be building, replacing a pretty darn good house with a way better house for a lot less money. We'll see.
All
Okay.
right, I have the
Ready?
alternate version here, and I'll be running some pictures of the board of directors and some other whole earth things in the background, and then we can come back and say what we think about it.
We'll come back and say what we think about it, and then that's
About
it.
3 minutes. About 3
Yeah, 3
minute
minutes.
song.
See you after. Bye.
We are roots in the soil, we are clouds in the sky, we are rivers that flow, stars that fly. We are domes in the desert, light spun from the sun, designing with nature, all life as one. Not just pieces, not a part, we belong to the whole. One living system, one pulsing soul. We are the whole earth, rising in time, playing the game with heart and mind. With a mind like Bucky's, we see the unseen. A world that works for all, efficient and green. Like Amory's lens, we find power in the flow. Soft paths and bright futures everywhere we go. John Todd's waters hum, where wild and wise unite. A living machine in the dance of life. We are the WholEarth, rising in time, playing the game with heart and mind. From mountain to ocean, from sea to flame. We learn, we grow, we heal, we change. Together we dream, together we build a world that thrives, a planet fulfilled. One earth, one team, no lines divide. We shift the rules with love as our guide. Systems that serve, not systems that take. A future we co-create, wide awake. We are the WholEarth, rising in time, living the game, redesigning the climb. With joy as our compass and truth in our hands, we shape the future with a living plan. Together we dream, together we build a world that thrives, a planet fulfilled. We are the WholEarth, and the game is on.
Wow, what do you think of that?
Okay, we are the WholEarth, and the game is on. This is a different version of the song. Of course, we're gonna have different versions, and we're gonna keep doing different productions and see what people like on TikTok. We have a lot of votes for that one. A lot of people saying they like the first one first. A lot of people saying they like the second version best. So everyone's gonna have their own opinion. But, what about you? What about you? We're gonna make them more poppy. We're gonna have some hooks. We're gonna have some catchier
Are
styles,
you
I think.
kidding? I'm blown away. That was like my favorite, like Dolly Parton singing my song.
Yeah, it was very Dolly.
Ooh, I was definitely down for that. I mean, I like
Yeah.
them both. I gotta
Yeah.
have to sit back and listen a couple of whiles. So, how many people are in watching us now, and where are they watching from, and so forth? Let's talk
So
about
we
that
got,
first.
let's see, we got about 119 on TikTok at the moment. We had, they come and they go. They come and they go. And then on Twitch, I think let me go check our Twitch stream here, and let me check our X. We do want to give a shout out to people on X. The X got interrupted, but we are back on X. That is formerly known as Twitter. Thank you guys. And Facebook as well. Hello, let me check in on Facebook. Oh, yes, we love Facebook. We are here on Cosmos Creative and also on YouTube, of course. And we are going to remind everyone to please also follow Lance Charles Drums on YouTube. Thank you very much. Some more votes coming in. Okay, they said they like the second one better. Okay, very
Second one
good.
was great, right? It had a little jingle. It had a
Yeah, it had a little
like
jingle
a little
to it.
cookie. It had
Yes,
some
and
hook
it is,
to it.
and it is not Dolly Parton, guys. If you can imagine, this is what artificial intelligence is doing. By the way, it's interesting, and we're integrating organic feel, and we actually can control
Look,
it and
we
write
got
the lyrics.
tools. Okay, like remember this. Okay, this is part of the anticipatory design science that we're dealing with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Using what tools are given to us. We're not going to go ahead and say, no, let's contemplate, like, where's this coming from? Where's it going? Well, it depends on what it's made of, because we definitely want to see things that are made environmentally, more with more strategic value. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right. Yes.
There's no such thing as a waste. We want to have stuff that we can use and keep using over and over again. It doesn't have obsolescence built in. That's a good one. But generally,
Obsolescence.
we're
Yeah.
looking for this type, and that's where you and I get to play the game, okay? Because every decision we make is a seed.
Yeah.
Okay, we plant the seed in the thing now, and the next thing is to, like, is it a weed or a seed? Seed or weed? That's the question.
Both.
What's the difference between, what's different? What is a weed?
A weed is now I've been asking people that because everyone in my neighborhood keeps ordering pesticides to kill all the dandelions. And I don't know why it's so important to people to kill dandelions, but they say it's a weed. And so I don't know what a weed is.
Dandelion was a food. Okay, it's actually a food.
Yeah, it's a superfood.
It's like a superfood. Yeah, it's part of this whole thing. So it's part of that plantation idea of keep it like all just this kind, not that kind. But you have to understand how dandelions work. But we have the same plague with mustard seed here. More like mustard seed. It's like it's just something that gets stuck in and it's really hard to get out. And I had dandelions and I had rabbits and I had all kinds of stuff where I was living by the thing. We couldn't even have a grass lawn. It was impossible.
So
So
are dandelions a weed because they're considered invasive in any way, or?
well, but they're clod busters. They're really good for certain types. Like if you want to have like soil that's blown in, like really blown up, you want to get dandelions in there because it really goes deep. It's a very aggressive root. You see, it's how you know. Like if you follow Jeff Lawton, there's a whole segment on dandelions and the chop and drop aspect and moving it into the soil, so you're getting a lot of nitrogen into the soil very quickly. So if you have an area, I mean, dandelions are great, like early plants. And it's also based on this idea of like, let the plant do the work so you don't have to do the work. Like once you understand how to do a couple of simple steps, and I think Jeff Lawton will come on our show if we can get enough viewers and enough likes. If we can get the numbers up there, we can start to really talk to these people face to face. I mean, a lot of folks are still alive. But the point is, like, if I can come up with these, I came up with some ideas. I was lucky to see behind the curtain, at Disneyland or something. And it's no big deal. It's just mechanics, man. We can build it to make it work. Okay. And now we can have a robot help us too. So it doesn't even, we've got to help that. I mean, I don't have it together to be all those things and all those people. I'm just the chef. In this case, I'm the conductor. I feel like I'm a conductor. I always wanted that job. I'm like, dude, I want to be just like my dad, first of all, who was going to work in a suit and tie and being the dude that always was there early, first of all, stayed late, late, followed the thing and had this shit tight. There's no fooling around at Prudential when my dad was there on his office, I know, and they were super aggressive making money. But, that's what we do. So what I do is took it for another a little bit larger. Like if we can do it for for an insurance company, why can't we use the same model to insure the planet, right? But the first thing we have to do is stop beating up on the planet. It will heal itself quicker than you can imagine. And now it's moving into a whole super thing. So you have to imagine this thing healing itself. Otherwise, you're going to miss the ride, because the next one is all in your imagination. We're just trying to build for you a couple of toolkits so you can bring that with you to have the best possible experience, both now and now and now. See, the nows just keep stacking up, right? All right. What else we got? Give us a couple of good questions. Thank you for being here, everybody who's here. Come on in.
Yes, absolutely. So
Remember,
we
we
had
build a bigger boat. Just build a bigger boat.
build the bigger boat. Yeah, but build the bigger boat. Exactly. So we did have a number of questions about the artificial intelligence. And like you said, you can't be everywhere at the same time. So we're getting robots to help us out. People are asking, what are those things like? Do you have a good experience? Are they scary? I think some people are scared of like the Terminator thing. What is your opinion about artificial intelligence and how we can use it to build the whole
robots.
earth?
I didn't say anything about those robots, but look, robots do mindless chores that are mundane to us. Now, the only thing that we have to do is somehow get to the place where we can rely on these automated services in order to provide what we need. I think it's going to come very quickly that you are pressing a button, you're urinating first of all, and your spit is being analyzed in your kitchen sink and in your toilet. this is not anything new. I mean, Toto has a toilet right now that will analyze everything that comes out of you. Now, once you get that figured out into the computer, it'll start to develop a diet for you that will bring you back to health, so that you're starting to eat your way back to health, right? See, this is what we do. Now, remember, this comes from Rudolf Steiner. This is not anything new. And this comes from how the Native American folks that were here before the Columbus invasion, the pre-Columbian times, they were eating a super alkaline diet, mostly beans, squash, and corn, right? Corn was the primary sweetener, but it was all part of a vegetable diet. A little bit of meat. Okay, there's not a lot of meat. You're still, when you get the meat, you string it out. You make it into pemmican. You make it into something that you can use for a long time. You don't just go and cut it all up and have a barbecue in 10 minutes and throw it down, and just walk away burping. It's not the way it works when you're working one with the planet. Once you're dealing, that's what he says. When the mother gives me a little bird to eat, I say thank you. When something comes in my way, like a squirrel or a fox or something, and I'm hunting, I say thank you. This is what I'm supposed to have to eat. This is how you're supposed to work with the mother. You're having this conversation with your planet. The planet is okay, are you familiar with Farscape? You ever watch Farscape?
No, I don't know what that is.
It's a science fiction series. No?
No, I haven't seen it. Maybe someone else has. Somebody else, has anyone seen Farscape? Why don't you tell me what it is, since I
Well,
don't?
yeah, I will, because you should catch up. But Farscape is about being on a Leviathan. The Leviathan is a living organism that is a spaceship. So you have to have an interaction with the pilot in order to exist and travel on this particular spaceship. It's pretty fascinating, the conversations that go on between, our hero is a time traveler that fell into a wormhole. He was an astronaut and got caught up in the wrong wormhole and got yanked into another existence. It's a great story. You should see it. Everybody Google Farscape and go on YouTube and catch the first couple scenes and see it, because you want to catch up on this. It's great.
Okay, there is one fan who said it's great. I love it. Okay, so I'm
Okay,
out of
good.
the
Well,
loop.
there's one out there. Well, get a friend and tell them, hey, you know a guy that knows a guy, knows a guy, knows a guy. So this is our Leviathan. This planet is the Leviathan. She, Mother Eartha Gaia, Hathor, Mother Eartha Gaia, whichever name you want to call them, but probably 4 in a row is good. You might find a 5th name. Mama. Anyway, Mother Eartha Gaia for me, Mother Eartha Gaia Hathor to me now. My Hathor, because the goddess energy, and in one of my emojis, or one of my avatars, I can't get over the fact that Jasmine Crockett looks so much like the Hathor bus at the temple in Egypt. It just blows me away. I mean, it looks like her face. I mean, it's got this round, African, beautiful. Most of them have been kind of chipped away. Somebody went to great length to destroy as much of this stuff as they possibly could. I don't even know what they were up to. It's just like, we got nothing to do today. Let's go crack on a face for a while. I mean, what energy does it take to destroy and deface these kinds of things? But they were beautiful when they were done. They were absolutely perfect. They all look like Jasmine Crockett to me. Well, okay, it's a little bit, reaching maybe, but whatever. Black swans come, and you never see them until they're right there doing the work. And here is a dark, melatonin-rich person who is doing the work, has done the work, has gone through the classes. While, I was in that school. Okay, I was in a very nice school in New Jersey, and there were people who were just like Jasmine Crockett, and they were working their butts off. And there were other dudes that were just like Donald Trump, and they were so rich they didn't have to show up to school. You know what I mean? They didn't have to do all this stuff. Their dad owned a car dealership or something. You know what I mean? He was rich. Like shit, you know. Anyway, it's amazing how rich kids can get in trouble in all kinds of ways just because they think they have some kind of, you know. But that's not what it was like in my house. You know, we were kind of taught a different story, and maybe some more humility came with me. I don't know, but I do feel like giving back is more important than taking. That's where you want to be too. What else we got?
Somebody was asking about the map again. Every time we go live, we have to explain the map. Can you explain the map one more time?
Oh, I want to explain the map every single time. I should. I'm not. I have no problem explaining this map. This is a different way of seeing the planet. You see that? You cannot not see this again. I want you to look at it very carefully. Do you have the map up there?
Yeah, it's on the screen. Like other people can see it. So
Okay,
just
so I
talk.
just want
Yeah,
to make
just
sure
talk
because
about it.
I know it by heart, but I just want to make sure that I know what
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
everybody is seeing it. Definitely.
Okay, so what we're looking at is the world undistorted. This is the exact size of the continents. Okay, we're not blowing smoke. Every other flat map that you see throughout the days, weeks, everything you see on the news, everything you see, the way it's presented is distorted. It's just part of that whole not seeing things the way they really are to give you the information that you really need to make your own decision. You see, they're keeping you a little off kilter, just a little bit off, so you can't balance. So I use, and I'm hoping that you can too, is take a picture, take a screenshot of that, and keep it in, on your desk for a minute, and just understand what's going on here. This is a flat map. Everything is the way it is, the size that it is, and you see that the way it looks to me is that we're so minuscule, you can't see any people on that thing. You can see some cities. Now you can go around. I would think that would be a great trick, is to go around and start mapping out the cities. I might do that as an art piece. I think that's a great idea, to go into each city and how it looks on this map in real time, building up from what it was like, you see, to what it's like now, but still seeing how we can, if we look at everything. You see, the first thing you want to make a good decision is just give me some information, right? Give me what the facts are. I can roll it out on a table. I can say, okay, let's move the food over here. Let's make sure we network this area. What if we made sure that this was, didn't you see what I'm saying? And we're starting to, see a whole different strategy on how to make sure everybody gets what they need here. Not just everybody, but let's not forget every living thing too. Like we have a lot more responsibility. Blowing up every fucking thing in Gaza, what about all the animals that were there? I'll give you a second with that. Blowing up everything in whatever the fuck we're blowing it up. What about the animals there?
Yeah, I've
What
noticed
was
that
it?
when. Yeah,
What was in Ukraine before they fucking, took over
right.
Ukraine? Those Russian motherfuckers are just as bad as American motherfuckers. They will, Zelensky, Smolensky, they're all fucking brutes, okay? One is bigger than the other. Zelensky wants to be in power with Putin as much as Donald Trump does. I think it's in his best interest, to keep autonomy, because why? What is the motivation to keep the autonomy for Ukraine? Money, resources, cement. By the way, Ukraine is one of the largest cement producers, and they produce it all to the Black Sea. Cement, 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 cement. One of the top 3 building materials in the world. Steel, cement, aluminum. What else? Nothing. Lumber goes way down the line with lumber.
And a
Can't
lot of
produce enough
food.
lumber.
It's the bread basket of Europe. So a lot of wheat, a lot of food that they transport to places like Africa and Europe as
Yeah, but
well.
that's food. That's the food category. I'm talking about the building materials part.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay,
Like they
just
just signed the
cement,
big
okay,
mineral
steel,
deal.
cement, aluminum, and lumber. Those are the things you can build with. Right? Take your pick.
Right.
That's it. You don't have anything else, okay? I'm just saying. There's nothing else to do. It's got to be wood. It's got to be cement. It's got to be steel. It's got to be something. You know. So anyway, a lot of them time they're combinations like steel and cement, like it's rebar, a lot of steel, whatever. Okay, it's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Anyway, but cements, those are some of that. So that's how I saw the building materials when before I knew about Buckminster Fuller, I was looking at building materials going around the world. Same way that he did too. He was looking at logistics. You know, what the logistics were of moving around like in a Navy situation. So he was a naval guy, and so that makes perfect sense to me. So we're just playing a game, right? The game is such that you can see that we can handle the load, whatever it is. If we stop killing and stop blowing things up, then we'll be able to heal the planet and provide food for everybody, right? And clean water. And these robots can help us a lot, for sure. Because that stuff's, it's always been rough work. I mean, by hand. But see, you have to go back and remember in the Lemurian times. So, Lemurians is like the first age of humanity. It's like when we are in our the most innocent state is when we're in Lemuria. So Lemuria is not necessarily a time, but it's also a time. It's a frame of mind. Okay. The next one is the Atlantean frame of mind, in the Atlantean time. And then this modern draconian times. This is really the Draco type of thing, because there's like this religion that is desperately wanting to be masculine. It's being, the Caucasians are taking over the dark melatonin rich people because we're afraid of their power. We're afraid of their intellect. So we've got to keep them down. That's what's really going on here. The black person from Egypt is the most gifted, intelligent human being, probably. Boom. And now we start a race war. But then you got these Chinese people are like this. Then you got this other folks. The Americans are conglomerate. We killed all our great people. The great thinkers of the native folks were destroyed early in the game. Those people, and that's all part of the pirate takeover. If you follow what goes on in Buckminster Fuller's Operating Manual for Spaceship Earth, which takes place on a map that looks exactly like the one you're looking at now. Okay, boom. That's the key to the game. Okay, the Operating Manual for Spaceship Earth is really the backbone. I just tried to simplify it so more people could play. I thought, oh my God, there's a world games designed by Buckminster Fuller. How come everybody's not playing it? See, we do. We need to make our own game, and that is when we see the money that these guys are racking up while we're getting poorer, while they're stealing our resources. We could be solving the problem with their money. We just say, thank you very much. You are great people. You are very smart people. You made so much money. Give us this money and we will fix the planet. Then you can go ahead being rich. We'll let you just go ahead being rich. Why don't we just let you be rich? Just give us enough money to fix the rest of the planet, and the rest of us can live here, and you folks can get statues. We'll give you a free statue if you just shut up and give us your money. What do you think of that, Renee?
Yeah, that would be a funny thing to say, right? Well, it might come to
Elon
that.
Musk a statue because he gave away all the money we needed to make the world work for everybody, for every living thing.
Mm.
I'm gonna start that. Hashtag One Whole Earth. Yeah.
Yep. Hashtag One Whole Earth with the double E. Yeah, I mean with the single E. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you put a double E. Maybe we should get the double E too. We're gonna work. We'll get that too because these
We'll
people
get both.
are so stupid. People are.
Yeah.
What else? Did we have another good question?
Yeah, so somebody was asking again about, do you think the AI is responsible for some of the economic downturn for replacing people's human jobs? What do you think about that?
Take responsibility for your own actions. Just be of your. I don't know. Probably not. See, we're never going to be able to get anywhere pointing fingers out. So I don't know how to answer your question. But if you're looking for a scapegoat, you aren't going to find it because the guy's in the mirror or person's in the mirror. No such thing as a scapegoat.
That was the Michael Jackson song, remember? Man in the Mirror.
Well, he knew it too. Remember? Y'all ignorant. Y'all ignorant. Everybody's ignorant.
I remember.
He thought he knew. He did. Well, Mike knew. Okay, Michael's probably Mike. He could still be alive. He could be doing the Adolf Hitler thing too. There's some of that. There's some of that. Like some of these people want to just disappear so badly that they can't. You know, they can buy their way out. The problem is you can't get your way back in unless you come in, you know, maybe you get a face change and you turn yourself into somebody else, but you can never have that fame again, you know. It's just not possible.
Yeah, we have a question.
Not
We
this,
have a
you know, maybe we'll write a story about it being possible, but I don't think so.
So somebody wanted to know about deep fakes, and you know, deep fakes. I think what they're implying is, you know, every now and then there'll be like a famous person, and somebody will use AI to make fake content.
I don't make anything like that's not out of my wick. That's out of my bailiwick. I have no idea. Play the game. You do your own thing. Okay, I'm gonna take off now. We're gonna step out and go backstage, and Renee and I are gonna make more rabbits, and we'll see you next time. What do you think, Renee? You got any last words before we go?
All right, we just say choose love, choose peace in the world, follow the way, and buy the book. Buy the book, everybody.
Everybody go buy the book, and then we're going to start in the game. It's going to be an art market. Come to the new. It's going to be a new, improved website. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you stay close because there's going to be some great benefits if you're an artist and you have craft and you things you want to sell. Give me a call.
Right.
It's getting that going. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.
One of the very, very few people getting this message. We want to prove to the whole world that the impossible dream